Joining us now is criminal defense attorneys Gerald Griggs and Bernardo Villalona. Bernardo, let me begin with you. You're also a former senior homicide prosecutor. Was this sentencing an impact statement?
Absolutely. Judge Walmsley sent a message to the community, sent a message to the world, because he is well aware that the world was watching this trial from gavel to gavel, from the beginning to the end, because he knows the impact that this trial has had on us, as well as the family of Ahmaud Arbery. Judge Walmsley definitely took into account the statements, the victim impact statements from the mother, as well as the father, as well as the sister of Ahmaud Arbery. And in taking all of that into account, he determined that the right sentence in this case for the McMichaels is life without the possibility of parole, and for Bryan, life with the possibility of parole. But the words that stood out to me are the words that he used: tragedy, callousness, neighbors. All these words stood out to me were the words that Judge Walmsley used and took into account in delivering his message and his sentence.
Gerald, you've been down there with the family throughout this experience. How are they reacting to this sentence?
The family is understandably emotional, but they are satisfied that the second step towards justice has been taken. So they asked the judge to spare no mercy on Travis and Gregory McMichael, and he did exactly that. And they still want more accountability for William Roddie Bryant. So they are cautiously optimistic and happy today. They're currently at a barbecue right now celebrating what happened, but they are focused on February the 7th, the hate crimes trial, and they want to see full accountability and justice in that case.
And Bernardo, with a federal hate crime case just a few weeks away, the Arbery family attorney says the Department of Justice offered them a plea deal. Take a listen.
Earlier this week, the Department of Justice approached Wanda Cooper Jones and her family and asked whether or not they would consider a plea deal where these men would be sentenced to 30 years in federal prison. She rejected that offer because we believe that today the state will move forward with life sentences without the possibility of parole, and we think that's the appropriate sentence.
So, Bernardo, the question is that an indication of how they think the appeals could go?
Well, there's no guarantee, even though if you file an appeal that is going to be granted, you're taking a chance. You're asking for mercy from an appellate court to determine whether some errors were made at the time of trial. So there's no guarantee, and also that can take years. In regards to the federal case is going to go forward. We're going to hear so much more evidence, especially when we're talking about racial undertones, where we're talking about racial text messages, and possibly the statement that Travis McMichael made of the body of Ahmaud Arbery. We'll hear that during a federal trial because it goes directly as to the hate crimes.
And Gerald, there's another trial that we're anticipating hearing the sentencing, and that's Kim Potter in Minneapolis. So this is the latest in a few trials that we saw in 2021 that really were signals to Black America of where justice in this country stands right now. What are you anticipating?
I'm anticipating continued resolve to get accountability in these cases. I think that, and I got a chance to talk to Ben Crump a few minutes ago, that we are on an unprecedented streak here where we are demanding and getting accountability. So I expect a full punishment for Kim Potter for her actions in Daunte Wright's case, similar to what happened here in Ahmaud Arbery's case and what happened in George Floyd's case. So I think that we're at a turning point in justice for African Americans in this country, and my hope is that the judge in Kim Potter's case will take a signal from Judge Walmsley and do what's right and equitable and just under the law, and that sentence her to a maximum sentence.
Bernardo, we've got 30 seconds left. How do you see it?
I'm actually nervous about that sentence. I don't think that she's going to get a harsh sentence. I think that there are so many mitigating factors that the judge is going to take into account. So I don't think that a judge will max her out.
Well, we're going to certainly have you both back to help us analyze the continuing coverage, not only of the federal hate crime trial, but what comes from Kim Potter's sentence as well. Criminal defense attorney Gerald Griggs, Bernardo Villalona, thank you both for joining us.
Hospitals are so slammed with COVID-19 patients these days that the National Guard is actually being called in to help. Next, we take a closer look at the chances patients have of reinfection with the Omicron variant after they've recovered.